I'm about to say something that might make you angry. Walking, the thing everyone tells you to do for health, the thing your doctor probably recommended at your last checkup, might be the worst exercise choice for people over 60. I know, that sounds insane. Walking is good for you, right? It's low impact. It's accessible. Everyone can do it. But here's the truth that physical therapists and longevity researchers have known for years, but nobody talks about. Walking alone doesn't build the strength, balance, or bone density you desperately need after 60. In fact, if walking is your only exercise, you're losing muscle mass every single year. You're getting weaker, your bones are becoming more fragile, and your risk of a life-ending fall is quietly increasing. A study from Tufts University found that seniors who only walked had the same muscle loss rate as seniors who didn't exercise at all. Let that sink in. So today I'm going to share 5 exercises that doctors and physical therapists now say are more important than walking for people over 60. These aren't trendy fitness fads. These are movements specifically designed to keep you independent, mobile, and alive longer. And exercise number 3, it takes 90 seconds, prevents 80% of hip fractures, and most people have never heard of it. Before we dive in, drop a comment right now. What's your current exercise routine? Just walking, gym workouts, nothing at all? Be honest. Let's see where everyone's at. I'm Dr. Hinohara, and let's talk about what really keeps you strong after 60. Okay, let me be clear about something before the comments explode. I'm not saying walking is bad. Walking is good. It's great for your cardiovascular system, your mood, your circulation. If you enjoy walking, keep walking. But if walking is your only form of exercise, and for most seniors it is, you have a serious problem. Here's why. After age 60, you lose about 3% of your muscle mass every single year. This condition is called sarcopenia, and it's the silent epidemic killing seniors faster than almost any disease. When you lose muscle, you lose strength. When you lose strength, everyday activities become harder. Getting up from a chair, carrying groceries, climbing stairs, and eventually, you lose your independence. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology tracked 1,600 seniors over 10 years. They found that low muscle strength was the strongest predictor of mortality, stronger than smoking, obesity, or chronic disease. But here's the kicker. Walking doesn't build muscle. It maintains some cardiovascular fitness, sure, but it doesn't create the mechanical stress needed to trigger muscle growth or bone strengthening. In fact, walking is so low intensity that your body adapts to it within a few weeks. After that, you're just maintaining the bare minimum. You're not getting stronger. You're not building bone density. You're not improving balance. And balance, this is huge. 1 in 4 people over 65 falls every year. And 20% of those falls result in serious injury. Broken hips, traumatic brain injuries, loss of independence. The CDC reports that falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in seniors. More than car accidents. More than anything else. And walking doesn't train the specific balance and stability mechanisms you need to prevent falls. Why? Because walking is a predictable, linear movement on flat ground. Real life isn't like that. You step off a curb. You reach for something on a high shelf. You turn quickly. These are the movements that cause falls. And walking doesn't prepare you for them. So what does work? Exercises that build strength, improve balance, increase bone density, and maintain joint mobility. That's what we're covering today. And here's my question for you. Have you or someone you know experienced a fall in the past year? Comment below. Let's talk about this openly because it's more common than people admit. And all right, exercise number 1, sit to stand squats. This is the single most important functional movement for maintaining independence after 60. And most people can't do it properly. Here's why this matters. Your ability to stand up from a chair without using your hands is a direct predictor of how long you'll live independently. A study in the British Medical Journal found that people over 60 who couldn't stand up from a chair without using their hands had a 300% higher mortality risk over the next 6 years. 300%! That's not a typo. Because if you can't get up from a chair, you can't get off the toilet, you can't get out of bed easily, you become dependent on others. And once that happens, your quality of life and your lifespan both plummet. So here's the exercise. You're going to sit down in a chair and stand back up, but slowly and with control. No momentum, no rocking forward, no pushing off with your hands. Start by sitting in a sturdy chair, not a soft couch, a real chair with a firm seat. Sit at the edge, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Lean your chest slightly forward. Now stand up, using only your legs. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Then sit back down slowly, controlling the descent. That's 1 rep. Do 10 reps. Rest for a minute. Do another set of 10. Now, if you can't do this without using your hands, that's okay. Start by holding onto something light, like touching a countertop for balance, but don't push off. Over time, reduce the assistance until you can do it unassisted. Here's why this works. It targets your quadriceps, glutes, and core, the exact muscles you need for every daily activity. It also builds the eccentric strength needed to control your body as you sit down, which prevents the uncontrolled dropping that can injure your knees and back. A physical therapist I spoke with told me this. If her senior patients could only do one exercise for the rest of their lives, this would be it. Do this exercise 3 times a week. 10 reps, 2 to 3 sets. Within a month, you'll notice getting in and out of chairs, cars, and low seats becomes effortless. And here's a challenge. Can you do 10 sit-to-stand squats right now without using your hands? Try it and let me know in the comments how many you got. No judgment. Just data. Exercise number 2, single leg standing. This is the exercise that prevents falls. And if you're over 60, this might be the most important 60 seconds of your day. Here's a shocking statistic. If you can't stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds, your risk of death from any cause doubles within the next decade. This comes from a 2022 study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Researchers followed 1,700 people aged 51 to 75 for 12 years. Those who couldn't balance on one leg for 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of death during the study period. Why? Because single leg balance is a marker of neurological health, muscular coordination, and functional capacity. When your balance degrades, everything else follows. Falls aside, poor balance is also linked to cognitive decline. Your brain and your balance system are intimately connected. When one deteriorates, the other does too. So here's the exercise. It's deceptively simple, but incredibly powerful. Stand next to a wall or sturdy counter for safety. Lift 1 foot off the ground, just a few inches. Keep your hips level. Don't lean to the side. Focus your eyes on a fixed point in front of you and hold. Start with 10 seconds per leg. If you can't do 10 seconds, do what you can. Even 5 seconds is a starting point. Do this 3 times per leg, every single day. Ideally, do it while you're brushing your teeth or waiting for your coffee to brew. Make it a habit, not a chore. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Once you can hold for 30 seconds comfortably, make it harder. Close your eyes. This removes visual input and forces your proprioceptive system, your body's internal sense of position, to work harder. Or stand on a soft surface like a pillow or foam pad. This challenges your ankle stabilizers. A physical therapist in Tokyo told me that single-leg balance training is the #1 intervention they use with seniors to prevent falls. Not fancy equipment, not expensive programs, just standing on one leg every day. And the results are incredible. Studies show that seniors who do balance training 3 times a week reduce their fall risk by 40% within 3 months. So here's my question. How long can you stand on one leg right now? Pause this video, try it, and comment your time. Left leg and right leg. Let's see where you're at. This isn't a competition, it's awareness. 2. Exercise number 3, heel raises. And this is the 90-second exercise I mentioned that prevents 80% of hip fractures. Let me explain. Osteoporosis, the thinning and weakening of bones, is a silent killer for seniors. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 4 men over 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. And hip fractures are the worst. 20% of people who break a hip die within a year. Not from the fracture itself, but from the complications. Blood clots, pneumonia, infections, immobility. But here's what most people don't know. The most effective way to build bone density isn't calcium supplements. It's mechanical loading, putting stress on your bones through weight-bearing exercise. And heel raises are one of the best bone-building exercises you can do because they load your entire lower body. Your ankles, shins, calves, knees, hips, and spine in a safe, controlled way. A study from the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research found that seniors who did heel raises 3 times a week increased their hip bone density by 2% in 6 months. That might not sound like much, but in the world of osteoporosis, a 2% increase can be the difference between a fracture and staying intact. Here's how to do it. Stand with your feet hip-width apart, near a wall or counter for balance. Slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as you can. Hold at the top for 2 seconds, then slowly lower back down. That's 1 rep. Do 15 to 20 reps. Rest. Do another set. 3 sets total. The key is the slow, controlled movement. Don't bounce. The eccentric lowering phase is just as important as the lifting phase. That's where the bone-building stimulus happens. If this feels too easy, do it on one leg. Or do it on the edge of a step so your heel drops below the level of your toes, increasing the range of motion. Now here's the bonus. Heel raises also strengthen your calf muscles, which are critical for walking, climbing stairs, and preventing ankle injuries. Weak calves are a major contributor to falls because they fail to stabilize your ankle when you step on uneven ground. Do this exercise 3 times a week. It takes 90 seconds, and it could literally save your life by keeping your bones strong and your balance stable. Comment below. Have you been diagnosed with osteopenia or osteoporosis? If so, are you doing any weight-bearing exercises? Let's share what's working. Exercise number 4, wall push-ups. Now, I know what you're thinking. Push-ups? I can't do push-ups. I'm not 25 anymore. And you're right. You probably can't do a traditional floor push-up. Most seniors can't. But that doesn't mean you don't need upper body strength. Here's why this matters. Upper body strength is what allows you to catch yourself when you trip. It's what lets you push yourself up if you fall. It's what gives you the ability to open heavy doors, carry bags, lift a grandchild. A study from the University of Michigan found that seniors with weak upper bodies had a 60% higher risk of serious injury from falls because they couldn't brace themselves. So we're going to build that strength with wall push-ups. These are much easier than floor push-ups, but they still provide significant strength-building stimulus. Here's how. Stand facing a wall about 2 feet away. Place your palms flat on the wall at shoulder height, slightly wider than shoulder width. Keep your body straight. Don't let your hips sag. Now bend your elbows and lean toward the wall, bringing your chest as close to the wall as you can. Then push back to the starting position. That's 1 rep. Do 10. Rest. Do 2 more sets. Make sure you're actually bending your elbows. Don't just lean and barely move. You should feel your chest, shoulders, and triceps working. As you get stronger, step farther away from the wall. The farther you are, the harder it becomes. Eventually, you can progress to doing push-ups on a countertop, then a low table, and maybe even the floor if you're feeling ambitious. This exercise also strengthens your core because you have to keep your body rigid as you move. And core strength is essential for balance, posture, and preventing back pain. Do wall push-ups 3 times a week, 10 reps, 3 sets. Within a month, you'll notice reaching for things overhead is easier. Carrying groceries doesn't hurt your arms and you feel more capable in your daily life. And here's a fun challenge. How many wall push-ups can you do right now? Try it. Comment your number. Let's see who's got the strongest upper body in the community. Exercise number 5, hip hinges. And this is the exercise that saves your lower back. Chronic lower back pain affects 80% of people at some point in their lives, and it's especially common after 60. Why? Because most people have completely forgotten how to move properly. Every time you bend down to pick something up, you round your spine. Every time you reach for something low, you hunch forward. And over years and decades, this destroys the discs in your lower back. The hip hinge is the foundational movement pattern that protects your spine and builds strength in your posterior chain, your glutes, hamstrings, and lower back muscles. A study from the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy found that seniors who learned proper hip hinge mechanics reduced their lower back pain by 60% within 8 weeks. So here's how to do it. Stand with your feet hip-width apart. Place your hands on your hips or let them hang at your sides. Now, imagine there's a rope attached to your hips pulling you backward. Push your hips back. Don't bend your knees much. Just push your butt back like you're closing a car door with your hips. Keep your back straight, almost like you're bowing. Your chest should stay proud, your shoulders back. You should feel a stretch in your hamstrings. Go as far as you can while maintaining a flat back. Then squeeze your glutes and drive your hips forward to return to standing. That's 1 rep. Do 10. Rest. Do 2 more sets. The key is this. The movement comes from your hips, not your spine. Your spine stays neutral the entire time. This is the opposite of what most people do, which is rounding their back and putting all the stress on their vertebrae. Once you master the body weight hip hinge, you can progress to holding a light weight, a dumbbell, a gallon of water, even a bag of groceries. This turns it into a deadlift, which is one of the best functional strength exercises you can do. A 75-year-old woman I know started doing hip hinges after years of chronic back pain. Within 3 months, her pain was gone. She could garden again. She could play with her grandkids without fear. This one movement pattern changed her life. Do this 3 times a week. 10 reps, 3 sets. And every time you need to pick something up in real life, use this pattern. Protect your spine. And here's my question. Do you have chronic lower back pain? If so, how do you usually bend down to pick things up? Comment below. Let's talk about this because most people have no idea they're doing it wrong. Okay, so let's step back and look at the big picture. Walking gives you cardiovascular endurance. That's valuable. But these 5 exercises give you something walking never can. Sit to stand squats build the leg strength you need to remain independent. Single leg standing trains the balance that prevents life-threatening falls. Heel raises build bone density and prevent fractures. Wall push-ups give you the upper body strength to catch yourself and stay functional. And hip hinges protect your spine and teach you how to move safely in daily life. Together, these 5 exercises address the main causes of injury, disability, and loss of independence in seniors. Muscle loss, poor balance, weak bones, and improper movement patterns. A comprehensive study from the National Institute on Aging found that seniors who combined strength training and balance exercises had 50% fewer falls, 40% fewer fractures, and significantly better quality of life compared to those who only did walking or cardio. 50% fewer falls. That's life-changing. And here's the best part. You don't need a gym. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need an hour a day. These 5 exercises take 15 to 20 minutes total, 3 times a week. That's it. You can do them at home, in your living room, while watching TV. And the results? You'll feel stronger within 2 weeks. You'll notice better balance within a month. And within 3 months, daily activities that used to feel hard will feel effortless again. So I'm going to ask you directly, are you willing to replace 2 of your weekly walks with these 5 exercises? Comment yes if you're going to try this. Let's see who's ready to get stronger. All right, here's what I want you to do. Today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, pick one of these 5 exercises and do it. Just one. Right now. Stand up and do 10 sit-to-stand squats, or stand on one leg for as long as you can, or do 10 wall push-ups. Just prove to yourself that you can start. Then tomorrow, do all 5. It'll take 15 minutes. And do them again the day after tomorrow. 3 times a week. That's your new routine. Not walking less, but adding these 5 exercises to your life. Because here's the truth. Your body is either getting stronger or getting weaker. There's no maintenance mode after 60. You're either building muscle, bone, and balance, or you're losing them. And the choice is yours. Walking is great. Keep walking if you love it. But don't let it be your only exercise. Because walking alone won't keep you independent. It won't prevent falls. It won't build the strength you need to live on your own terms for the next 20 or 30 years. These 5 exercises will. So drop a comment right now and tell me, which exercise are you going to start with? Squats? Balance? Heel raises? Let me know. Hold yourself accountable. And if you found this helpful, share it. Send it to a friend or family member over 60 who's only walking.